Let's talk about quitting your motherfucking job. Yeah, let's talk about quitting your job. So, this past Sunday night, I was sitting at dinner with two of my very best, most beloved friends. You know them well, Miss Anna McCausland and Miss Christine Bohm. And I had let them know that this was coming, that I was quitting my job. And from the dinner table, I sent a very curt, sort of abrasive letter of resignation. That was the subject, actually. Letter of resignation. Send 5:40 on a Sunday night. Now, I'm sure some of you are already listening to this and going, oh God, that's unprofessional. That's burning a bridge. Uh-oh. Listen up, friends. I will be 36 years old in December. I have been working in the corporate world for 21 years. I am very aware of what is professional and what is not. So I would like to talk about all of the stupid nonsense and stigma around quitting a job and how long you have to stay at a job and how you should quit a job and what you should do after you quit a job in that week's period that you're still sticking around, and do you have to have another job to quit a job? All of those things that are, quite frankly, fucking bullshit. Before we get into that though, I will say that I am in, God, probably some of you are thinking like, she's erratic. No, I'm just in a really good mood. Not even from quitting my job. I'm in a really good mood because it's beanie season. It's beanie season. I mean, it's like the God said to me this week, whatever the fuck's up there, right? All of the female gods looked down and said, you know what, Jess? I want you to quit your job. I want your hair to look fucking gorgeous. And put on that goddamn beanie. Put it on. Put it on, you goddamn lesbian. Do it. And wear your best L-word shirt. Go for it. So I did. So here I am. So let's talk about quitting your motherfucking job, though, because that's really what I'm here to talk about. So I wrote, like I said, sort of a curt email. I didn't feel like I owed anybody anything because you do not owe anybody anything. You have to go with respect. You should never be disrespectful. But I very, very just to the point said my last day will be blah, blah, blah. Here's what I will do in the time between now and blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you have any questions. That's it. Monday morning, I will tell you, I received a very frantic phone call trying to keep me on board. The answer was no. Nope. I will say, if anybody's watching this from there, if you have a better offboarding process than you have onboarding process, that's a problem. So that's a word of advice to anybody looking to switch jobs or sort of make a career move. If the onboarding process is unpleasant and you feel like you haven't picked up enough of what you need to pick up, or you're not learning at the speed at which you believe you should be learning, beware. And then if you leave and you see that the offboarding process is like really worked out, that's problematic. So as somebody who has sat sort of in like the director executive world for a while, if someone interviewing were to ask me, what does your offboarding process look like? I would think that was a really smart question. Super smart question. Because if I had a really clear answer on what my offboarding process looked like, but I don't have a very clear answer on what my onboarding process looked like, run. So I want to talk about a few things. So let's talk about, first of all, the stigma of job hopping. Because job hopping, quite frankly, doesn't exist anymore. It's not a real thing. I'm probably like the age of the last generation who that was really drilled into. Like, you get a job, you have to stay for at least a few years, and then you move, like, then you can move on because it doesn't look good if you move around. No. And I do recognize, so like, asterisk, I do recognize this is different in different like areas of what people do. In my world, in the like sales, marketing, business world, it doesn't matter. I have never once looked at someone's resume and said, God, they only stayed there for 7 months. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, because if you're leaving, it means it's not tapped into your passion. It's not aligned with your value. It's not something you want to be doing. Obviously, like if I found that you've been fired from the last 15 jobs you've had in like 15 years, that's a problem. But job hopping is not real. People have this like horrible understanding of what work should be like, and like, oh, you know, I hate work, but I have these 2 great days on the weekend. No, no. It's okay to look for work that aligns with your mission, visions, values. There's nothing wrong with that. And until you find that, there's nothing wrong with leaving. There's nothing wrong with taking on a job and saying, not for me. You can think that something is the best thing in the world, and until you get there and you actually like live in it, you have no idea. And once you live in it, if it's not the right fit, get the hell out. As a hiring manager, I would never think about it. Ever, 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 ever. I wouldn't think twice. In fact, I would really respect someone coming to me and saying, last gig wasn't a fit. No problem, because then I get to say, well, what is a fit? See, right there, making a better fit. Now, I made myself notes because I'm so all over the place this week. Oh, so let's talk about, there's two more things I want to talk about. I want to talk about burning bridges. Everybody in life says, oh, don't burn bridges, you never know. Okay, so now I'm not telling you that when you quit a job, you should light everyone's hair on fire and tell them to go fuck themselves. That's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you, though, is that honesty remains the best policy even in work. If you are leaving a job and they are asking you for feedback and for questions, offer it. I've actually been in positions before where like I've left and I haven't done it and I felt totally like unempowered, and that's on me. That was my own fault for not saying what I needed to say. And I didn't feel like I was helping change anything. So like, here's how offboarding works from an HR perspective. If you quit a job and they have like an exit interview process, they're doing that not to like give you the floor. They're doing that to look for patterns. So they want to be able to say, okay, this person was here for 3 months. These other 6 people who just left were also here for 3 months, whatever, insert amount of time here, doesn't matter. 2 years, whatever. This is where it keeps going wrong. This is where the problem is. It's this person who they roll up to. It's this person who they work with. It's this training, whatever it is, they're looking for patterns to fix the problem. So if you're not honest about it, they're not going to be able to fix it. And again, that is not to say you should be like, fuck this person and fuck that person and da 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 da. Although I will say I did a little bit of that. But again, speak your mind. Speak your mind. If you had a negative experience, there is no reason to pretend that it wasn't. None. You want to be mindful. You want to sort of politic the situation because it's in your benefit. That does not mean being dishonest. And that does not mean that once you shut the door stays shut. That's okay. Some doors are better off shut. I have been told that many times on many different things. That's a door that is sometimes better off shut. Last but not least, let's talk about the very clear expectations to set when you leave. So this whole giving 2 weeks thing is sort of bullshit. It's become customary, and that's I guess what you should do. It is what I did in this scenario, sort of full well knowing that they would be like, no thank you. So I give my 2 weeks. They're only making me stay on for a week, but they're paying me my 2 weeks because they know bitch don't play. But the 2 weeks are just sort of like a pleasantry at this point. Here's how you quit a job. When you quit a job, you can offer your 2 weeks. That's fine. More important than that, though, outline what you're going to do for them to transition it. So I quit. I said, I will also make you a list of all accounts I've been working on. I will make you a list of all things that are up in the air. I'll send you over all of my contacts. And that way, once I'm done with that, once I'm able to send them this little package of stuff, I'm done. I'm done. And I don't do that to be an amazing employee, right? I do that to get it the fuck off of my plate at one time. So I am not sitting around for 2 weeks with my thumb up my ass saying, God, I don't even know, did I do everything? Did they get everything they needed from me? I told you what you'd get from me. It's on me. I gave it to you. Now go away. Now go away. And that's it. So I think that there are a lot of negatives associated with quitting jobs where it should always be a positive. If you're leaving something, it's because you've learned something from it. It's because you've learned this is not for you. And that's okay. And it may not be for you because you fucking hate it. And it may not be for you because it's just not a fit. There's so many things. There's a million things in between fucking hating something and it just not being the right fit. For me, it was a little bit of both. And I'm out. However, you know what I'm saying. There's like all different varying degrees of why you would quit a job. And I think that there are a million ways to quit a job, and ultimately, like, you have to do whatever you're comfortable with. I just felt like it was important to at least check in and say, like, as someone who is constantly looking at resumes and understanding like people's strengths and weaknesses and why they would leave, why they would stay, all of those things, what I'm actually looking for is honesty. I'm looking for authenticity and honesty. I don't even care about experience half of the time. Truly, I mean, listen, I don't want you to like have just rolled out of your college dorm with fucking nothing in your brain. But like, if you have what it takes to do it, I know that, you know that because you're being authentic about it and you're telling me that, and then we move on from there. So if you're quitting a job and you feel funny going into another job interview with like another check on your resume, who gives a shit? I don't give a shit. Anyway, I guess I don't really have much else to say. For me, I just wanted to brag about quitting my job and wearing a beanie. That's all I wanted to do today. And I think, check, check, check. Mission accomplished. So if you need me this week, I will be sitting on my ass. Right on it, sitting on my ass. Maybe working out, maybe eating. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Playing with my kid, doesn't really matter. I got a week. To do nothing. Pretty good. Pretty good for me. Speaking of doing nothing, just kidding. So on Monday, we have Libby from Diary of an Honest Mom. I love her. I love her so much. Tune in. She's amazing. She went from like having basically no followers to like 200,000 followers in about a month just because her content's so super great. And like Diary of an Honest Mom, she's actually just a super honest person and really fun and really kind, and she's Canadian and she has lots of fun things to talk about. So tune in on Monday and enjoy your weekend because I sure as hell will. Bye.